The subject of delimitation has reignited heated debates in Nagaland, where there is a division between districts that are in favor and those not in favor. Delimitation is the process of fixing limits or boundaries of territorial constituencies of Lok Sabha or assemblies. Delimitation is done on the basis of the preceding census every 10 years. The first such exercise in 1950-51 was carried out by the President, with the help of the Election Commission. Following the Delimitation Commission Act in 1952, all such exercises have been conducted by delimitation commissions set up in 1952, 1963, 1973 and 2002. 4 states, Assam, Arunachal Pradesh, Nagaland and Manipur, were exempted by an order of the President of India on February 8, 2008. However, on February 28 this year, President Ramnath Kovind cleared the decks for the resumption of the delimitation exercise in the 4 states by cancelling the order of February 8, 2008. Subsequently, on March 6, 2020, the Law Ministry notified the Delimitation Commission for the 4 northeastern states and Jammu and Kashmir, which was also left out in 2002-2008. Former Supreme Court Judge Justice Ranjana Prakash Desai is its chairperson and Election Commissioner Sushil Chandra is the Election Commission's representative on the panel. Delimitation could not be carried out in 2002 in Nagaland owing to what was described as faulty and incorrect 2001 census. In accordance with Constitution, delimitation will be done on the basis of 2001 census. The first delimitation was undertaken in 1974 based on 1971 census, and accordingly the 60 assembly seats were carved. Those who oppose argue that since 2001 census was flawed and rejected by the assembly, they also say that delimitation could vitiate the conducive atmosphere for the expected Naga political solution. Those who want delimitation feel it should be done since their districts have not been accorded due number of seats on the basis of population. They also agree that the 2001 census is flawed, but insist that the 2011 census be adopted as the basis for delimitation. There are also some who want delimitation but at the same time are not disinclined to allowing solution to the Naga political issue take precedence. Various tribal hohos in Nagaland have expressed their stand over delimitation. Some of them welcome the delimitation exercise, whereas others are opposed to it. NE8 brings to you the views expressed by the hohos regarding their respective stand on delimitation.
The hours, we have opted for solution because solution is the need of the hour.
Not delimitation.
Not delimitation. So to have the this census, to have this limitation, the latest should be taken. And that also with a proper identification, like unique identification, like other using like that. Otherwise, the same mistake will follow again. Secondly, the 2001 census is already rejected by the government at the same time by the court because of, see, it is a faulty, the reason is it is a faulty census. So, question doesn't arise to conduct this delimitation basing on the 2001. Lastly, if delimitation is enforced to us, to the Nagas forcefully, we have decided to go up to the extent of making pan, agitation, this and that. And that is not only the house resolution. The Nagas, the tribal hohos of Nagaland, we had a meeting on 12th of July at Kohima, Heavy Hall, and we have already resolved that.
Stand of CHAKHESANG Public Organization on the reinitiation of the delimitation exercise in the state of Nagaland. In view of the recent disturbing and unsettling developments unfolding in the field of constituency readjustment, by setting at motion the process of delimitation in the state of Nagaland, has therefore made it incumbent upon our CPO to raise serious reservation and ardent objections against the state action. That the Honorable Guwahati High Court in the public interest litigation case number 67 of 2006, CPO and others versus Union of India and others, expressing anxious concern over the contention of CPO and also being prima facie satisfied that census of 2001 is fraught with anomalies and aberration, and that the same also registers abnormal growth of population. The High Court was pleased to stay restrained the process of delimitation in the state of Nagaland by passing of such interlocutory order. The CPO hence well against the action of reinitiation of the delimitation exercise in the state of Nagaland on the basis of the faulty, erroneous, and non-workable and also obsolete census of the year 2001.
Actually, the Naga political solution, the talk has been in on 31st October 2019. Now we are expecting for the final solution to be signed. But how delimitation exercise has been imposed on Nagaland? I feel that the solution should be the priority instead of a delimitation, number one. Number two, 2001 census, which is delimitation supposed to be based on 2001 census, which is already rejected by the Indian government because of the faulty census. How 2001 census will be based for the delimitation? That is another factor. That's what I don't want. I don't favor for the delimitation by this time. 2001 census already rejected because the faulty census. Now if the delimitation is supposed to be exercised or carried out, it should be based on 2011 census, 2011 general census. If the forcefully imposed for delimitation based on the 2001 census, we are opposed to that and we are not allowed to carry on the census, the delimitation in our area. We are not allowed to carry on delimitation based on the 2001 census. Totally we will reject to that. We are not allowed.
When it comes to delimitation, the KONYAK tribe is not totally opposed to move. But as of now, the KONYAK Union is obviously against the delimitation move because KONYAK Union had also forwarded a letter to the governor office, R.N. Ravi, who is also an interlocutor to the peace talk of the Indo-Naga. The letter clearly stated that the only hindering to the peace talk is this pandemic outbreak globally. You know, the Naga solution was on the verge to settle its settlement. Therefore, considering the plea of the Naga people for honorable solution, which is a protracted political talk, which is not settled for decades. So while honoring the peace talk, I would like to ask the questions whether the recourse of the India towards the cry of the Naga people is just merely an initiative or a step just confined to interim conflict. It should not be that way. We want holistic, peaceful, honorable solution, accommodating all the experience of the sections of the Naga society. Therefore, delimitation should not be taken place in Nagaland unless the impending Naga solution is arrived at. This is the KONYAK stand. When it comes to census, every after 10 years, the census has recorded its population in the country. See, the Konyak tribe is one of the most populated tribes in Nagaland. And if the delimitation carried out based on 2001 and 2011 census, without including the people taken from 2012 to 2020, and moreover, there are many people left out without enlisted in the current census, who have reached 18 years of age by now, who are eligible to be an adult franchise, which is also enshrined in the Indian constitution. So if it is so, it will be an economic setback for people, and it is obviously be a depriving their rights to vote. So the delimitation should be taking place after 2021, or most probably it would be very good after Naga solution is settled.
Our opinion is that first the solution of Naga political issue should be settled, after which the delimitation exercise in Nagaland should be done. 2001 census is rightfully rejected by all and sundry because there is so many proxy. If at all delimitations is to be carried out, then after Naga solution, it should be done based on 2011 census. In order to avail equal justice for all Naga tribe, the best solution will be to go for head count, well no argument will arise, which will satisfy all Naga tribes.
LOTHA Hoho fully support the delimitation of 2020 as proposed by the Government of India. Changes in population demography within the last 50 years fully justifies the implementation of delimitation 2020. So LOTHA Hoho fully support delimitation 2020, but there are some groups of people, some individuals who give lame excuses like Article 371A, Naga political solution, like that. This have nothing to do with delimitation. For example, Article 371A is a special provision for the Nagas of Nagaland regarding religious practices, traditional judiciary, cultural practices, then ownership and transfer of land and its resources. So these provisions have nothing to do with delimitation. Then the Naga solution, yes, Naga solution is welcome, but even if Naga solution comes, it is a preconditioned negotiation, and so the settlement will be within the Indian Constitution. And delimitation is a constitutional obligation. So whether Naga solution comes or not, the delimitation has nothing to do with the Naga solution. So the delimitation 2020 should be implemented. That is the stand of the LOTHA Hoho for fairness and for the common good of all the Nagas. We have no objection whether 2001 census or 2011 census. We have no objection. It is at the discretion of the Delimitation Commission. We feel that there has been no serious anomaly in either of the census reports. Had there been any such serious anomaly, it should have been reviewed and corrected there and then, immediately, before it is submitted to the Census Ministry of the Government of India. But once it is authenticated and published by the Director General of Census, Government of India. It cannot be reviewed and it cannot be challenged. So we support the discretion of the Delimitation Commission for using either 2001 or 11 census. Now, if delimitation doesn't come as per our stand, then the LOTHA Hoho is ready. We'll do anything in our capacity to get the Delimitation 2020 implemented. We have also constituted, we have formed a joint action committee consisting of the aggrieved districts and 7 tribal units to look after the Delimitation 2020 issues. The Joint Action Committee will do whatever is reasonable, whatever is possible to get Delimitation 2020 implemented and to give full support and cooperation to the Delimitation Commission of India. So we support, along with the Joint Action Committee, the implementation of Delimitation 2020 for fairness and for equal opportunities among the Nagas of Nagaland, and we request all the right-thinking Nagas to support Delimitation 2020.
You see, we are against the proposed delimitation exercise because we want solution first of the Indo-Naga issue. Any exercise before solution is like putting a cart before the horse. In fact, it is learned that all substantive issues has been resolved between Naga political group and government of India. Only symbolic issues remain. If it is so, it will not take 10 days to seal the final deal. If both parties are serious, which the Naga public are eagerly waiting for. The general impression and perception of the public is that why should we go delimitation again and again if solution is at our doorstep. While analyzing 2001 census, some districts are too alarming of their population growth rate. Take the example of Phek district. I said Phek district because POCHURY being in Phek district, our child decadal growth rate from 1991 to 2001 is the highest of all districts in Nagaland. Our child decadal growth percentage is 17.74, whereas other district child decadal growth are much below 15%. Despite having low childbirth rate, some districts recorded unprecedented highest growth rate, nearly 100% from where all this population come. We cannot deny that 2001 census was manipulated without proper physical verification in order to get more assembly seat. If the government of India go ahead with delimitation, it should be best 2011 census because it is definitely more accurate compared to 2001. POCHURY is a small tribe. So whatever the case may be, we shall go along with the majority voice of Naga people.
Delimitation does not come at any moment as we want. For Nagaland, it comes only after 48 years. And 48 years is long enough that we should have another round of delimitation. As we all know that we are all living in a democratic country, a democratic setup. So we know that as a parliament has passed an act and the assent has been taken from a president, it has become a law and it is to be implemented. So one of the reasons I support delimitation is I'm a loyal citizen of India and I support this act. The other reason is a delimitation limits the constituencies so that this proportionate distribution of MLA seat is rationalized on the basis of changing demography. The other one is, as we all know that we are all citizens of India, we know things. So not only me, everybody should also support the delimitation. Delimitation to be carried out in Nagaland. But some people started searching the basis as to how it should be rejected. So they point out the anomalies in the 2001 census. Accordingly, government also sent a letter to the central government that it has got some flaws. So it was rejected by the government of Nagaland. However, it is the decision lies with the Delimitation Commission. If the Delimitation Commission says that 2001 census is not reliable and they declared it as invalid, then also they have got 2011 census figures with them. And this can be used for their exercise.
Nagas are eagerly waiting for the final outcome of the vexed Indo-Naga political solution. And one of the demands put forth in the competency list is the increase of MLA seats from present 60 seats to 80 or 90. Therefore, once we arrive at a final solution, the rearrangement of the constituency is bound to take place. Considering that the talk is on the verge of conclusion, the SUMI Hoho is of the opinion that the present delimitation be kept in abeyance till the solution arrives. As of now, we cannot comment on that. We are hopefully waiting for final settlement, after which a necessary step will be taken to carry out delimitation exercise in the best interest of our people. We are hopeful for a favorable outcome. However, if the need arises, we will push for our demands through peaceful and democratic ways, like mass non-cooperation against the delimitation may take place if our demands are not met.
Regarding garden delimitation issue in Nagaland, to be honest, delimitation is a long-awaited dream of the YIMCHUNGER Naga, as the existing distribution of assembly seats in Nagaland is disproportionate, wherein YIMCHUNGER tribe has been deprived for more than 4 decades. Yet, today, we join the race of the Nagas to demand for early Naga political solution for the sake of Naga common goals, sacrificing our due rights. See, irrespective of 2001 or 2011 or 2021 census in Nagaland will never ever be actual or agreeable to all sections of Naga society. There will be always manipulation. Therefore, for equality and justice to all birds of Nagaland, census as well as electoral roll should be based on biometric system or Aadhaar base. In the event of wide disagreement or if the decision goes against our stand, Nagaland being a tribal state, all tribal hohos or bodies will have to sit together and discuss how to go about it. Thank you and Moksha.